Now, when they found that ancient Greek computer thing, on what is that called?
The Antikythera mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that testifies to a lost navigational skill that we have not taken account of before.
Incredibly complex, and it took a long time for them to figure out what that even is.
Yeah.
What do they think that is now?
It tracks the movements of the planets. It's a navigational device. It's a geared, cogged system that allows you to track the passage of time and figure out where you are. It's some kind of navigational device. It's not fully understood
And
yet.
how old is that?
I think that goes back to Greek times. I'm guessing here because the Greek times are not of great interest to me, but I'm thinking around about 500 BC.
When sponge divers first stumbled upon the wreck off the tiny Greek island of Antikythera in 1900, they could hardly have imagined what they had found. Marble statues, coins, jewelry, and treasures of immense cultural value were pulled from the seabed over the next 2 years. But among the broken amphorae and corroded bronzes lay a lump of metal so unremarkable that for decades it was almost ignored. Only later would the world come to realize that this crusted mass of bronze gears was the most extraordinary discovery of all. The Antikythera mechanism, now recognized as the world's first known computer. More than 2,000 years old, the device rewrote what we thought we knew about ancient technology, challenging modern assumptions about the sophistication of Greek science. And now, with modern excavations, 3D reconstructions, and new exploration of the shipwreck itself, researchers believe they may finally have a clearer picture of what this ancient computer truly was and why it still matters today. The Antikythera Shipwreck itself has long been called one of the richest archaeological finds in history. The vessel, a Greek trading or cargo ship from the 1st century BCE, sank off Antikythera near Crete at a crossroads of the Aegean and Mediterranean seas. Greek sponge divers, waiting out a storm, dived for sponges and instead swam straight into history. They found the wreck at depths of 40 to 50 meters, deep enough to pose a challenge even for modern scuba gear, but shallow enough to make traditional submersibles unwieldy. When the Greek Navy joined the excavation in 1900, the operation yielded hundreds of artifacts, including a 7-foot marble colossus of Heracles. For decades, the statues and jewelry captured public attention. The small, gear-filled lump of corroded bronze did not. Yet that lump, now known as the Antikythera mechanism, would eventually be hailed as an unparalleled feat of engineering. The device contained interlocking gears and inscriptions that revealed its purpose: to predict celestial events. It could forecast eclipses, track the positions of the sun, moon, and known planets, and even calculate the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. Some scholars believe it was used to synchronize religious festivals and agricultural cycles with astronomical movements. In essence, it was a machine for mapping the heavens, an analog computer built 1,000 years before anything remotely similar appeared again in human history. Only about a third of the mechanism survives today, in 82 fragments. But even in pieces, its complexity stunned researchers. It revealed precision gearwork that would not be seen again until the intricate clockworks of medieval Europe. Using X-ray imaging, scientists were able to peer inside the corroded fragments, identifying more than 30 gears and inscriptions describing the cosmos. For decades, however, the front panel remained a mystery. It wasn't until 2021 that researchers from University College London announced that they had cracked the puzzle using computer modeling to reconstruct the full gear system.
So, at least 2,000 years old, 2,000 plus, and we know that there had to be more than one of these things.
Yes, you can't have something like that without a vast effort behind it.
Yeah.
Human beings were working on creating this geared and cogged machinery that reflected the patterns in the sky.
Oh, is that a recreation of it?
That's a recreation of something like it. Yeah.
Can you buy one of those? That looks like you could buy that, dude. Bookmark that. Yeah. We need one right there.
Their model showed a stunning display: the sun, the moon, and 5 planets known to the Greeks, all moving in precise relation to one another, displayed on a hand-cranked dial. Professor Tony Freeth, one of the lead researchers, described it as a tour de force of ancient Greek brilliance. The significance is hard to overstate. The Antikythera mechanism predates the next comparable technology by more than a millennium. Before its discovery, historians assumed that while the Greeks excelled in mathematics, philosophy, and architecture. Their mechanical abilities were relatively modest. The mechanism shattered that assumption. It proved that the ancients were not only capable of theoretical brilliance, but also of building devices that required minute precision and an understanding of astronomy and mechanics that rivals our own. Even more astonishing is the possibility that the Antikythera wreck may hold more secrets still. Jacques Cousteau, who explored the site in the 1970s, recovered additional artifacts and human remains. But because of the wreck's challenging location, too deep for most divers, yet too shallow for traditional submersibles, the site remained largely untouched for decades. Beginning in 2012, marine archaeologists Brendan Foley and Theotokos Theodoulou led a new wave of exploration, armed with advanced technology like rebreathers, photomosaicing software, and even a pressurized exosuit that allowed divers to work at depth while maintaining surface air pressure. Their surveys revealed evidence of a second wreck nearby, as well as hints that large boulders moved during earlier excavations may conceal more statues. Crucially, the ship's hold, where the Antikythera mechanism itself was found, remains largely unexplored. This has led to tantalizing speculation. Could more pieces of the mechanism remain on the seafloor? Could there be other devices like it, lost among the sands and boulders? Some scholars believe the Antikythera mechanism may not have been unique. It might have been part of a tradition of advanced instruments crafted by Greek artisans, perhaps inspired by the work of Archimedes or other Hellenistic scientists. If true, it would transform our understanding of ancient technology even further, suggesting that the ancients routinely built machines far beyond what history has credited them with. What makes the story even more remarkable is how fragile this knowledge became. If the Antikythera mechanism was one of many such devices, history lost them all. The fall of the Roman Empire, the decline of Greek scientific culture, and centuries of upheaval may have erased these machines from memory, leaving only this one battered remnant as a clue. It is as if human civilization briefly touched the stars, then forgot how. Today, the surviving fragments of the Antikythera mechanism are housed in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where they attract visitors from around the world. Replicas built with modern materials allow us to see the gears in motion, spinning dials that predict eclipses and track celestial bodies just as they did 2,000 years ago. Scholars call it the world's first analog computer, a title that captures both its sophistication and its uncanny familiarity. Looking at it, one can almost forget that it was built centuries before mechanical clocks, before telescopes, before even the birth of Christ. The Antikythera Shipwreck is more than just a graveyard of a lost vessel. It is a time capsule, preserving a snapshot of a world where Greek sailors carried not only marble statues and treasures, but also machines of such brilliance that we are only just beginning to understand them. Every new expedition brings the promise of fresh discoveries. Already, underwater mapping has expanded our view of the site, revealing that much of the wreckage remains untouched. If future excavations uncover more fragments of the mechanism, or even entirely new devices, it could force historians to rewrite the very history of technology. For now, the Antikythera mechanism stands as a humbling reminder. It tells us that the boundaries of human ingenuity are not linear, that progress does not march in a straight line from primitive tools to supercomputers. Instead, there are leaps, moments when brilliance flares up only to be lost and rediscovered centuries later. The ancient computer of Antikythera was one such leap, and it sat for millennia at the bottom of the sea, waiting for sponge divers to bring it back into the light.